Pure oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of pure oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.
Welcome to Pop-Up Job Podcast. I'm your host for tonight, Tara. Unfortunately, our guest tonight, Michella Edwards, has not joined us as yet, but I would love to take this opportunity to ask my producer, Charles Lewis, to join us for a brief chat. Charles?
Well, this is unexpected.
Right.
And a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me on. Let's hope that your guest comes in at some point in time, but we have so much we can talk about. This project has been so exciting since I launched it 3 months ago. And it started to get really exciting when people like yourself, Tara, started to apply to become hosts. I started to see the caliber of individuals wanting to become hosts go higher and higher, and some of the individuals have actually achieved master's degrees in HR management. Some are HR specialists, and it's really encouraging. So we're not going to waste these 15 minutes if we're going to so much talk about. Let me ask you a question, Tara. What was your first thought when you saw the opportunity? First of all, when you saw the platform, and then you saw the opportunity to be a host.
The first thing to me, what really reached out to me was the goal, the motivation, the motive of the website, the platform, what it's looking to do, which is basically to help job seekers find a job. So to me, when I saw the post, I felt like I would love to do this because I have firsthand experience knowing what it feels like to be searching and feel nervous. And so to me, this is like an icebreaker for most people to be able to, have that conversation before, because, employers will see the interview. So it would just basically help, build their confidence and help them say things on a wider range than you would be able to on your CV or your resume. You get to speak a lot more about yourself and your intentions. So something like that, I think, would be really, really enjoyable, to have people express that.
Absolutely. These job seeker interviews that we are producing, this strategy will become next level marketing and management for recruitment and employment. I give any employer anywhere in the world the choice of looking at a 10-minute video, which is quite comprehensive in terms of the questions that you as the host will ask the individual as a precursor or a pre-screening of candidates, or looking at a static CV. There's no choice. We're not going to replace looking at the CV. Obviously, they will at some point have to look at that. But this is an excellent opportunity to pre-screen individuals for any jobs that you have. And what is exciting about it is that the videos are searchable. So if an HR manager is looking for a sales rep or a sales manager, then they can search with those keywords, and only persons who are looking for that type of opportunity will be presented as job seeker interviews. Okay. And something came to mind when your guest, time was near to start the show, and she hadn't arrived as yet. This can be very daunting. We have to be realistic to suddenly realize that I'm not saying this is what happened. We don't know what happened, but it can be very daunting, very intimidating to know that you're going in front of a camera, even though it's your own laptop or your own mobile phone, but the entire world can see this. could be quite scary. So we have to also appreciate this. But having said that, it is important for individuals to understand that this is critically important to their success going forward, because and this is their time to shine. So one has to be very prepared. You have to do your hair, do your makeup, you have to come in dress. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, we've got this is an amazing opportunity that costs you nothing. We've done all of this. We've created the platform. We spent all the money and the time doing the business development and to create an opportunity for 15 minutes that could make the difference between you staying unemployed and having the job that gives you the type of job satisfaction and financial security that everybody deserves, that everybody wants in life.
Yes, and to add to that statement, I know that it could be very intimidating, but just know that you have a friend for everything. And you may have a going out buddy, a gym buddy, but we are your friends in helping you find a job. There's no need to be scared, because we're here to make sure that we help you through this process. So, it makes it easier after you get here. It's a good experience to have.
Of course.
I would advise, yes.
I would like to add more to that too. We're going to be inviting interviewees into the studio 30 minutes before. That gives them and the host an opportunity to get acquainted. I will also be there as the producer or another member of my production team. And so you'll break the ice then. You will give last minute tips, instructions. So any butterflies that you had before, you'll probably have half of those after the first 10 minutes. We break the ice and we calm you down, we make you feel comfortable. So by the time you're ready to start the show, to go and go live, you're just continuing the conversation you've had for the past 20 minutes. Correct. So we work with you, we hold your hand, we don't just drop you in at the deep end. This is something that is important for future job seekers who intend to come on. We make it so easy for you, and we're not the actual employer, so you don't need to be that. It doesn't have to be that nerve-wracking.
We're actually trying to make it easy for you before you get to the actual employer, so that they can already get a glimpse of who is Tara or who is Charles. So by the time you get to them, they're already feeling like they're acquainted with you, because they've already seen you, they've heard you, and they selected you because of what they have seen and heard. So
yes,
yes,
of course. Oh no, this is I'm very excited about this. I see the potential, I see the bigger picture, and I've had phenomenally positive feedback from individuals who saw it, and it's many of whom said it's such a fantastic concept, but it's so simple. Yes. We're not really reinventing the wheel. At any stage here, people go in front of the camera on their mobile phone when they're at the beach, when they're at a party, when they're drinking a cocktail. I mean, everybody's so tuned into going live and going on Facebook and so on. So there's nothing new here. It's just the diffusion or the compilation of the listing platform and the video production that has created this amazing opportunity for people to be highlighted in terms of their job seeker profile. And we then will market these profiles to companies all over the world. And you're not limited to finding employment in your country. An employer in some other country might see your profile, your interview, and decide, I want that person.
Yes.
And before you know it, you're being sent a ticket and advance funds to go to a foreign country for an interview. So this is the potential here. The world is truly now a global village.
Yes, and it's not only a unique opportunity, not only an amazing opportunity, but it's also unique because you don't really see this on job search platforms. You don't really see this opportunity arising. And, for those who are worried about working abroad for traveling purposes, since the pandemic started, remote working has been a thing. So you
Yes.
never know. Sometimes the person, a company or employer might see your profile, might see the video, and you may not be required to travel abroad, but you might be required to work remotely right from where you are, what country you're in. Because remote work globally had risen since the
Of
pandemic
course.
started. It had
Absolutely.
risen. Yes.
Mhm.
And a lot of persons love working remotely because of the advantages that it have.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. There was also a comment or a topic raised recently. The average person does not realize the extent to which COVID has disrupted employment.
Yeah.
So many people, millions of people are displaced in terms of employment, displaced totally or displaced in terms of their hours are now cut severely and they're not making that income. And and as and although there are hundreds of millions of people on other social media platforms, there's still hundreds of millions of people who have not yet found a job. So there's always a need to look at alternatives, and pop-up job podcast is an excellent alternative. We're not suggesting that you no longer use the platforms that you use now.
Yeah.
This is another platform that you should also use because of the benefits.
Which is good. From experience, though, I know that some websites, when you go to apply, they ask you to submit a brief video or about yourself, or
Yes.
so doing something like this can actually prep you because the structure for employment has also changed.
Yes.
A lot of persons are doing interviews virtually,
Yeah.
and sometimes you have to submit all that information before you actually get the interview of a video of yourself or voice recordings, the questions that they may have asked.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Mhm. Mhm.
to me that was a big change because we're accustomed to they will call you, give you a date, you have to get in office by that date, but it
Yeah.
has changed a lot. And this is one of the reasons why I felt like this was a really good opportunity, because most of the jobs you're going to have now, you're going to be doing everything virtually.
Of course.
And imagine speaking to your employer in this format is more nerve-wracking than doing this because you're going to have fun here. So doing an actual interview with your employer, the fun won't be, it's not there until you hear you got the job. So
Of course. Well, for the benefit of employers out there who have tuned into this podcast or in the future will tune in, because this is a live segment, but right after the live it goes into the archives, and it can be viewed at any point in time in the future. For those employers who may be tuning into this at some point in time, let me just give a very brief overview. Pop-up Job Podcast is a revolutionary new platform that uses the power of video to bolster job seeker profiles with a view to enhancing their chances of finding the right job. This is what it is essentially. And conversely, it is also a platform for employers to go to do previews of candidates for vacancies they have on offer at the moment. So
yeah.
it is a very effective solution for both the job seeker and the employer, and this is globally. It doesn't matter which country you're from. You can participate in a job seeker interview in what from New York on your mobile phone or your iPad, while the lovely host Tara is in Barbados, and I may be producing it in Miami or London. This is
Right.
the beauty of today's technology and the technology
Most
that we're
definitely.
using for podcasting. Okay, so that is in a nutshell. So if and for job seekers out there, if you're still struggling to find that job, we would like to have you on the show. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about what job or jobs you would like. Let's talk about what your experience has been so far in terms of employment. Let's talk about your qualifications. Let's talk about your high school. Let's talk about your childhood. These are the things we want to talk about. So you have all the answers. There's no need to be intimidated by this this huge concept that we have here. It's really very simple. It's a living room style conversation with a lovely host who is going to, discuss with you things to which you have the answer. So do not hesitate. This is your time to shine. We're going to do our best to make sure that you are promoted to as many potential employers as possible. This is our job, and we're going to do our job. But at this point, I want to thank Tara for inviting me on as an alternative guest. It has been my pleasure, and I have no doubt you are already. You're shining already. You're doing a phenomenal job, and you've only just begun. So thank you very much for inviting me on at the last minute. I didn't have time to do my hair, or brush my beard. But hey, I'm a soldier, and I'm always ready to do battle.
You're always ready, and thank you so much for joining me. Before we bring this episode to end, though, I just want to say thank you so much, Charles, for enlightening our guests on everything. A lot of the information is on the screen for you guys to see as well, but I'm glad we had this conversation to allow our guests to get a better insight on what we're about, what we're willing to do for you, especially our job seekers. Charles, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Cure Oxygen is way more than just water. We infuse pristine water with over 1 billion tiny oxygen bubbles using our state-of-the-art process. The benefits of additional oxygen are huge, from strengthening your immune system to increasing energy levels, stamina, and sports performance. And that's not all. It also improves skin health, helps you sleep better, and reduces stress. Join the movement of people experiencing the benefits of Cure Oxygen. It's not hype, it's science.